really wish I wasn't so polite because I would really just like to just say all those actual things.
You're not always polite. Beth Learn.
Rude.
Okay.
Welcome to Fit2B Radio. Slip on your minimal sneakers, notch your headphones into your ears, tuck your smartphone into your pocket, and take us along for a walk while we talk. Or just grab a cup of your favorite drink and get on the floor and stretch a bit while we bring you all things fitness, core, and diastases recti related.
Wow. What do we call this, Beth? Fit2B Radio. Hey everybody, welcome to Fit2B Radio. My name is Chris and I am here with Beth Learn. She is the founder of Fit2B Studio and kind of a fitness and all-around health expert. And today we've got a guest that I'm super excited to talk to. Her name is Sophie Zifku and she is a communications manager at Diva International. They make an amazing product that I am just learning about myself, which I know nothing about, called the Diva Cup. And today's going to be interesting for me. I'm gonna ask a few questions, I think, and I'm kind of interested in this. I'm kind of excited about it, but it's a little bit strange to talk about this new product, which until we developed this course for girls, I didn't even know this existed. So I'd love for you guys to kind of help some of the listeners because they might not know either. It's a kind of a newer product, I think, but I'd love to hear from you guys. What is a Diva Cup? What are we talking about? And why is Chris sound like he's not sure he wants to talk about it as we launch?
Well, hey, everybody, I'm Beth, and I'm the founder of Fit2B and the main face that you'll see in most of our workouts. And we're talking about Diva Cups, which are a type of menstrual cup because they are a type of period care. And we go over period products and all the options that are available to girls in our Fit2B Girls e-course that we've launched. And so we've connected with Diva Cup, which is the first one I used, and are fortunate enough to have Sophie with us today. And I think I want to start by asking, actually, how long have menstrual cups been around?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what many don't know, as they're still kind of discovering menstrual cups today, is that the concept itself has been around since the late 18th century, about 1870s, 1880s. There were early schematic drawings of the actual menstrual cup idea, this idea of something going in, being reusable. And it wasn't until about the 1930s, around the same time when tampons came on the market, that the first menstrual cup kind of was put to market. It was made of a very different material than we know today, more of a gum rubber. And that's just something that is a little more uncomfortable, doesn't flex as well to the human body, et cetera, et cetera. And they fell out of fashion. They came back again in the late 50s, 60s, fell out of fashion again. So they came around in different names. And then in the 80s came back. And that was another latex rubber one that seemed to take off. And then again, but it was an allergen for a lot of women. And so early 2000s is when Diva Cup launched the product in 2003. It's been in business for about 15 years now. And ours is a healthcare grade silicone, which is a lot more compatible with the human body. And the great thing about them is you can wear them for 12 hours at a time. They're reusable. They're great for sports, active lifestyle. And you save money because you reuse it each month. And it's better for your health and the environment.
Wow, you just summed up everything so well. Okay. But I know for myself, when I first found out about them, honestly, my gut reaction was, ew, and ow, and what? And where? But for a lot of women who are dealing with pelvic floor tenderness and who find discomfort in using tampons or have environmental concerns about tampons and pads, these are a real solution. So how would you sum up the way that they've changed period product and period care for the better?
Well, I'd like to hold on a second and back up just a little bit. Because so I know for me and for others, can you just give a high level, what is a Diva Cup? Can you just kind of help us understand that? For those of us
how it works, what it is?
How it works, what it is at a high level. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So Diva Cup is a reusable silicone menstrual cup. It's inserted internally into the vaginal canal. Unlike a tampon, it's not inserted up and it doesn't sit near the cervix. Now, depending on prolapse, your cup may sit closer to the cervix, but it's not designed to sit near the cervix. It sits at the base horizontally towards the tailbone. which makes it 10 times more comfortable, actually 100 times more comfortable in my opinion than tampon. It's reusable, which is amazing. And so you wear it for 12 hours at a time. If women have a heavier cycle, they may need to empty it at the 6 to 8 hour mark. We always recommend first time users, if they do have a heavier cycle, to try removing it at the 8 hour mark, just to see where it's sitting. Most find it's only about half full, because most women actually only flow about 1 to 2 ounces their entire cycle. That's over 4 to 7 days, and the Diva Cup actually holds 1 full ounce over 12 hours. So it can hold a fair bit, which is amazing if women have heavy flow, discomfort, pain in that regard, because that's one less thing you need to worry about throughout the already kind of unpleasant experience that some women do experience with their period. At the end of 12 hours, you simply remove it. You give it a thorough clean with warm water in the Diva wash and or mild soap, and then you can reinsert for another 12 hours. So you use it month after month. Because it's a medical device, we do recommend replacing them annually. We leave it up to the consumer. Most do replace it within a year or two. It is made from silicone, so it's natural material. So it can simply be cut up at the end of its life cycle and thrown back into the environment.
Wow.
So it sounds like since it's reusable, it could save you a lot of money, actually.
It does. And so the average cost for a menstrual cup, Diva Cup itself, is about $39.99. And most women actually spend about upwards to $150 a year on period care. The other great thing about the Diva Cup is that, easily. And that's minimal. And so if you have a light flow, you probably spend around that amount or a little bit less. But with the Diva Cup, because it's leak-free, you also don't need to really worry about liners. If you're concerned about leaking when you're first trying it, because it can take a few cycles to get used to, we always tell users it could take 1 to 3 months to get used to it. Because you're only inserting and removing every 12 hours, it can take time to really get used to this new device that you're wearing. Yeah. But because it is leak-free, you're not really spending extra money on disposable liners, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not just tampons or pads that women are spending money on, it's liners, because the products traditionally just unfortunately don't hold up for sports and the active lifestyle, or even lying down and sleeping for a long period of time. You experience a lot of leaks. With the Diva Cup, you don't have that. And so you can save, for the average woman, you can save over $100 a year on period care just by using a menstrual cup.
And that's a lot of money for a lot of families. I mean, that's like 8 packs of diapers.
It's a lot, and especially if you have more than one person in your family who has a period. You could have multiple daughters, and that adds up. So
hey, Chris, you've got a wife and 2 daughters.
Yeah, they need to get on this program.
Now. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Well, so with that in mind, so you said it's medical grade silicone, right? So does that mean it's like a very healthy, non-BPA kind of, I can put this in my body and it's okay kind
I'm going to go get mine.
Yeah, so it's latex-free, BPA-free, phthalate-free. Ours Diva Cup is dye-free, it's plastic-free. It's just 100% healthcare grade silicone in its raw form, and it's essentially made in a silicone manufacturing plant. Right. And they cure it, and they cure it with heat, which is really important. They don't use any chemical process to cure it. And then that's it. It's one ingredient, which is really amazing.
That's fantastic. So,
and it's the same material used in healthcare applications for over 50 years. And so it's a common material that's used in a lot of medical devices.
Got it. That makes sense. So, it's a device, and you wear it.
Okay, here it is. So don't get grossed out, Chris.
So you wear it, so to speak. So does it fit? Like, is it okay for a younger girl who's just starting, and also for women? Like, does it work for different sizes and all that?
Absolutely. And so the Diva Cup itself is designed for anyone who experiences their period and is comfortable with an internal feminine hygiene option. Okay. And so it does sit internally. And so if a young girl or even a woman, it doesn't matter the age, just isn't comfortable with internal, it can be very different. What we've learned, however, is that women who do have concern with internal, often it's linked to the discomfort of tampons. And so unlike tampons, the Diva Cup doesn't dry out the vaginal canal because it doesn't absorb. A lot of women simply, it's just very uncomfortable. They use the word chafing, and it can be really, when you're dry, like it's just not the way your vagina should feel. I'm sorry, I don't know if we can say that word on this one.
No, please. We're all about total anatomy. We use all the anatomy. That's part of
the vagina is it's like a self-cleaning oven. It has its own fluids, its own materials. What happens when you wear a tampon, unfortunately, is that it absorbs everything. So it's absorbing not only your menstrual flow, but all the other fluids that you do excrete It does. That's what it is. Your vaginal canal should be fluid and it should breathe. And oftentimes other products don't necessarily allow that to happen. And so the Diva Cup has that wonderful benefit. And so a lot of women kind of don't want to try internal products because like, oh, tampons, they dry me out, and they absorb everything and they can be really uncomfortable, especially on your light days. You don't feel that with the Diva Cup. It's a lot more pleasant to insert. Young girls, especially girls who are very active, they're into dance, swimming, and for them, using product that they have to change every 4 to 8 hours is a challenge for them at school. The Diva Cup, they can put it in the morning and forget about it for the entire day.
That's nice.
Great for travel, active lifestyle. So yeah, anyone who is comfortable with putting an internal that high option inside of them can absolutely try the Diva Cup. We do have 2 sizes. There's the Model 1 for women under 30, Model 2, women over 30, or anyone who's had a child regardless of age. 1/8 of an inch difference, but the rationale behind that is that as you age, your hips naturally widen, the pelvic floor does loosen, which I know Beth speaks a lot to.
Yes.
Like any other muscle, the vaginal canal is a muscular tube. And so over time, if you're not exercising that muscle, you will have to migrate and change to a Model 2 Diva Cup because it will start moving out of place, leaking, and that's just really unpleasant. And so a lot of women find that, and that size came after a few years of, so Diva Cup is one of the first medical healthcare grade, medical grade products on the market as a menstrual cup in the early 2000s. And so they did have the sizing, the recommended sizing was really based off of consumer feedback. A lot of women over 30 were experiencing leaking and movement of the cup. And they're like, you know what? It's not just for women who've had a child. Over 30, if you're not exercising this muscle, they consult a pelvic health specialist. Like, this is common knowledge, but a lot of women don't know that, as we've talked about. Beth, you and I have had conversations about this even just before this discussion, that they don't know that it's a muscle and that they need to work it out. And so the Model 2 is a guideline, not just for women who've had a child. If you haven't had a child, but you're over 30, you most likely will need the Model 2. And that's why it's there. That's the benefit of having the 2 model sizes.
Yeah, it is hugely beneficial. Now, I have $1 million question. I have $2 million questions, actually.
Okay. All right. Okay.
My first one, and forgive me if you guys said this when I was running to my room to grab my Diva Cup, which I have right here. Okay, all washed and clean. And you can see how bendy they are, and they fold, and they're just very bendy. And I talk about this in our video, and they have cute little pouch they come in, all pretty. And I think this is a size 2 because I've had kids, right? And okay, so my $1 million question though is, for a girl who is still a virgin, is this, I know, a big concern. My concern would be, oh my gosh, is this going to damage my daughter's hymen?
Yes. So definitely what we always encourage is that if women have concerns with regards to the hymen, especially if they're younger, that they talk to their parent or guardian or a healthcare professional. The Diva Cup, I mean, our stance is that there's just a whole conversation around the hymen, because some women are born without one. Some women don't even have one.
That's true.
Some are super thick. Some break without a woman even know, not break, but they like bend and tear. It's just a tissue membrane. I don't even like using the word break. I'm retracting the word break. It's not that it breaks. It's just that it's a tissue membrane. And unfortunately, there's this idea and that kind of, it's a fear in women. But for some, yes, if a woman is a virgin and she uses tampon and or menstrual cup, inserting the cup may be uncomfortable. For others, it's not uncomfortable at all. We have women who have had 3 children, and it's uncomfortable for them to insert the cup because a lot of discomfort.
It was uncomfortable for me the first few times. It was uncomfortable for me the first few times. Because I was like, you got to get the angle right.
Right angle, but it can be just even pelvic anatomy. And so it's not just vaginal canal, but all your pelvic floor muscles around the vaginal canal could be very tight. That's going to tense everything up. And so it really, it's all about comfort level. And the key, and what we always talk to, and we do deep breathing exercises with our consumers on the phone, and we have a lot of fun with it. And we get to really know our consumers, because we got to deep breathe and be like, got to relax your muscles. And we have different strategies for how to help them relax their muscles. And we help them get the cup in over the phone if they're struggling with it.
Oh, that's great.
There's definite concern, but it's all about, the first thing that I've learned about pelvic health is that when you are anxious or stressed, it all starts in your pelvis. And so if you're inserting the Diva Cup and you're nervous about it, it might be a challenge. For others, it's a breeze. It's no problem. You don't know. And that's, women learn so much about their body when they use the Diva Cup, they had no idea. And for a lot of women, using the Diva Cup sheds light on experiences and issues that they didn't know they had with regards to, let's say, their bladder. They didn't know they had a bladder prolapse or something like that as a result of multiple pregnancies. No one told them. Their doctor just didn't tell them. And so using a product like this can be very enlightening and empowering. You learn a ton about your flow because it's all collected there. You learn a ton about your body. And I find women just feel more empowered about themselves because they're caring for their body with this product. They're not just throwing out all remnants of their cycle. So we call it menstrual care. We don't call it menstrual hygiene as much as we could, because hygiene has a very negative connotation to it.
Yeah, you know what? I was
care for your body.
It's
a care element.
Yeah, it was
and
like this concept that periods are dirty. And this concept that this thing that happens to us every single month is something that we need sanitation for, which, okay, yes, you know, that kind of brings me to my other $1 million question, which I'll ask in a moment. Because it's messy. The first few times I use this, and okay, look, I'm just going to ask my question. Okay.
Yes.
Look. Okay, so if you're in a public restroom, let's say you have a really heavy flow and you do need to change it. Like you said, you can go up to 12 hours. But I one time blindly didn't think about that, and so I'm in a public restroom and I'm like, wait a second, I just took this out. And now how do I go out and clean? And I've got blood. Oh my gosh, how do I not look like a murderer right now when I step out of this bathroom stall?
Yeah. There's definitely technique to insertion and removal. But the key to public washroom, if you can find an accessible washroom, one that has a sink, single person, ideal. But you can't always, right?
Yes.
Sometimes there's just stalls that you have to go from. So if you can find that, then you can easily clean it up the sink. If not, we recommend that women simply empty the contents. You can give the inside of the cup a wipe if you need. Usually you don't, and just reinsert the cup until the next convenient time that you can wash it.
Okay.
The key is also that women can bring a water bottle in if they want. And I know it seems a little different, but it's like, no, just bring a water bottle in, just rinse it. You don't have to bring soap in or anything. Just rinse it, pour it in the toilet. We recommend not wiping the outside of the cup or really using a wipe, because that has fragrance often in it. And what you're doing is you're inserting this cup inside your vaginal canal with that fragrance residue. And we don't know how the pH and your vaginal environment is going to respond to that. So we very much shy away and don't encourage wipe use. If the wipe is 100% unscented, there are things like Wizzy wipes and items like that for Luna pads, where there's no scent and it's organic. But we don't want any trace residue, because the nice thing with the Diva cup is there's no trace residue. But if you're wiping it with Kleenex, toilet paper, that sort of thing, it will most likely stick because it's fluid all over it. So we say just empty it, reinsert it. Most likely you'll be able to give it a thorough clean within an hour or two or a few hours, and then just give it a really thorough clean when you get home.
I think this is a lot about trusting our bodies too as women. It's like trusting that our bodies, our vagina is a self-cleaning mechanism. And so if it does get dirty, for example, I look at these women that do those extreme races where they're running through mud, and I'm going, oh my gosh, how is that not all getting but it's like, wait, no, our bodies know how to handle ourselves. Chris is cracking up over there.
This podcast is, I mean, I really like this. There's
also like vaginal canal, like there's the labia. They protect the opening. Like you gotta, in order to insert the cup, you gotta separate the labia. So the way the female anatomy is put together is pretty amazing. It definitely has, there's purpose and function to everything. And when you're caring for your period, understanding the different elements is so key. And we talk to many women who it's not that they missed it in health class, they just weren't given the right tools or information to properly learn it. And so now we have women who are contacting us, 20s, 30s, 40s, who are coming to us with challenging questions and really, really frustrating circumstances that we hear about them, we're like, this is just not ideal for them. And we turn to what's called a physiotherapist. We say, you can make this work. We can get this work. You just need professional support. And to the team, who just really wants to use this product because she's on the swim team. We've had dads call in. It's amazing. Dads call in to support. They're like getting in on the conversation with young kids when they're first learning about their period and letting them know there's options. That's what we're about. If a woman isn't ready to use an internal product, we totally understand that. Half of us weren't when we first got our period. But knowing the option is there and knowing that women can benefit from it, it's just education. Why not tell them about it and let them make the decision themselves?
And I think that's where we overlap, because that's what the Fit2B Girls course does, is we're very much about getting girls this information at an early age so that when they get their period or shortly after they start their period, they can navigate it better. Chris, what were you going to say?
Yeah. So you've said active lifestyle, swim team. Beth, you talked about, the mud races and all. What I'm picking up is that this is a really good product for active fitness. You can use it in all of that kind of situation, which seems a little bit surprising to me. So is that true? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So really the only activity that you can't wear the Diva Cup for is vaginal intercourse. It does need to be removed. It's not a form of birth control, but you could do anything. We have people, you can scuba dive, you can fly, obviously, overseas, backpack, cliff jumping. That's the extreme, but you could do skiing, snowboarding, running, yoga, whatever you love to do while you're on your period. If it's sitting on the couch, eating a ton of ice cream, or getting out and running, because that's what makes you feel better. You can wear the Diva Cup doing those. It's great for overnight. Sleep is a big problem for women.
So
what you just said about
people that are doing cliff jumping, they are covered. That's really important for all of our listeners.
Yeah, because the product, when the product is inserted, sorry, my calendar's when the product is inserted, the Diva Cup is inserted into the vaginal canal, it opens up, it gently opens up, and it forms a seal.
Yeah. So you kind of fold it down, and then when you let go of it, it just, it pops open, and then it forms a ring seal around, and I can testify, you don't leak.
Yeah.
I mean, so unless you're like,
and then, well, if it leaks, it's not positioned correctly. It is 100%. It is leak free. I've cliff jumped. I've done yoga. I've done a number of different things, and I have a very heavy cycle, and so it stays in place. But again, depending on pelvic anatomy, pelvic floor strength, that could be an issue. But that would cause different issues for other areas in your pelvic floor as well. But for the average woman, it can uphold any activity, especially active lifestyle. And the nice thing is when you go to remove it, it's important you pinch the base. So you pinch the base, it collapses, similar to when it was inserted and folded, and you gently remove it. That's it.
That is hugely important, especially for people that are dealing with prostate and compromised pelvic floors. And that it's just this little vital thing that breaking the seal, you can't just grab the end of it. You see, let me open it back up again. No. Because that's what I did. Because I don't read instructions. I'm terrible about that.
I'm like, read the user guide. Yes,
this is self-explanatory. I'm just going to and you really cannot do that because it does create suction. So by just pressing down, it helps to break the suction. And if you have prolapse, nothing you can do is lay down, which is obviously not the most convenient. But if you are in the early stages of working with a physio to heal your prolapse, they're going to walk you through all that. And you're going to understand it better. And I think that 12 hours is worth it because let me tell you, I've tried to change a tampon in those little tiny airplane bathrooms and it is not fun.
Yeah. No, it definitely, it affords a sense of freedom that you cannot get with tampons and pads. And it affords a sense of education and empowerment that unfortunately, you're just not given with traditional options. And so it's a really great opportunity for women to learn about themselves, learn about within the products they're currently using. And like you said, learn about their health and gain a lot of insight that, one thing that we always tell customers is you identified a pelvic floor issue that you have today at 32. If you identified this at 50, there'd be a small list of things that could be done to support you. But identifying it now, thanks to you trying to Diva Cup, you're going to people don't understand that yes, it's frustrating that you might need to wait 3 months after your pregnancy or 6 months to use this product effectively. But by getting the support you need through pelvic physiotherapy today, you're going to be in a better position 20 years from now to be able to still do all the things you want to do at any age. And so that's kind of the benefit I see to the product as well. I'm learning this even as I age, and I've recently had a child, and it's like, wow, I'm really glad I can figure these things out now because if I didn't use the Diva Cup, I didn't know I had these issues.
Yeah.
Well, so one of the things that we always seem to be talking about on this podcast is education and how important education is. And every single guest we've had, every topic we've had kind of has a lot of education, and I think this is no different. So if people are listening to this, first of all, you can definitely check our website, which is Fit2B, FIT, the number 2, the letter B.com. We have some good articles on our site about this product and a lot of education there. But Sophie, from your company, who specializes in this particular product, and I didn't realize this, has been doing it for a long time. Where can people go to learn more about this?
So similar to you guys, our website's one of the best portals to get information. So it's divacup.com, divacup.com. We also are active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We have a number of really helpful videos. Other place is talk to even your doctor and reach out to us. We have demo kits that doctors can get to kind of help to better talk to patients about. We have classroom kits for schools. We have campus kits for college, universities.
Wow.
And so if you want more information, we have it for you. We provide it for free at no cost to individuals. And we're all about education. Our website has FAQs, videos, sizing instructions. You can also reach out to our consumer care team, support@divacup.com. We're here for you. We're on the phone, email, instant chat. We're available where you need us. Instant chat through Facebook Messenger,
Cool.
between, office hours, obviously, 8:30 to 4:30, but we're here. So if you have questions, concerns, reach out.
That's awesome. Beth, I think we're running out of time, but I'd love to hear from you. We have put a course together for young girls that talks about all kinds of issues related with health and being a girl, and we talk about this product and a few other products in that. But I'd love for you to kind of talk, just maybe explain the course. Why did we even go to a topic like this? Because, a lot of people might say, hey, that's for parents to work on, but what are your thoughts on that with related to our e-course for girls?
Well, I have a girl who is currently 12 and she hasn't started her cycle yet. And you have a daughter who's currently 16 and then a younger one. And I just find myself having more and more conversations with my daughter, and I can navigate those conversations easily. I have never been bashful about any of this stuff. Right. Even though I was raised in a really conservative religious home, my parents were awesome about just being straight with me and just talking, and there was no shaming. And I'm realizing more and more that that's actually really rare. And a lot of parents really struggle with the verbiage. I'm kind of a unicorn in that I don't mind talking about this stuff. And so I just started getting more and more requests from our members for help. Like, we want this information for our daughters. Oh my gosh, if I had known, if I had known this, and I didn't know, nobody told me, my mom didn't know to tell me. There's a lot of stuff that was put into this course from our contributors that I rounded up that I learned as I was pulling the course together. And that's the awesome beauty of it, is these little concise lessons with videos and printables that they can work through at their own time and pace. I had a mom who's got chronic fatigue. She literally lives in bed, but she has these little girls. And she's like, is this something that I can do? How much time and energy? I'm like, this takes no energy. You could lay in bed with your girl, watch these videos at your own pace. You could have her do a coloring sheet or a word match, and she's going to be informed and educated on skincare, pelvic care, period product availability when she's ready. So you can kind of pick and choose what lessons. It's just something that empowers girls and the people who are raising girls to know what they need to know.
Yeah, I love that. So if you're listening to this, you can, and you've got a daughter, or someone that's got a daughter or girl that's younger and kind of moving into this next stage of life, check out our website and look for the Fit2B Girls e-course. Again, common theme. No matter where you are, you really owe it to yourself to educate yourself about these products. Check out the Diva Cups website. Check out our website. I strongly encourage you to do that. And I wanted to mention one more really sweet thing. Sophie has arranged for us to be able to do a giveaway of 10 Diva Cups to people that are listening. So if you are interested in seeing if you can be one of the 10 that gets that, then go over to our website, go to fit2b.com, fit2b.com/Diva Cup. And all the information on how you can kind of sign up to see if you can be part of that raffle is right there. I just, again, can't say it enough. You need to educate yourself, do the research. And this company is there to help you. Like Sophie said, they've even got like chat. Like, you can go on the website as long as it's during business hours, and you can just ask questions directly to a real person.
Yeah, sounds like they will even coach you while you're putting one in. And now that is service.
Yes. No, that's what we're here for. It's a new concept to a lot of women. They need support. Who are they going to turn to? We're available. We're on the phone with them. Yeah. It's really rewarding. It sounds weird. Good. It's really rewarding to be able to help the consumer get the product inside and to remove it successfully. We've done our job. If we go home and we do that, we've done our job.
Yeah.
I love it. It's amazing. So this podcast is amazing. It's really amazing me. Every new episode, I'm learning new things, sometimes radically new things for me, like today. It's very cool. If this is the first one you've heard, you should definitely subscribe to the podcast. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of information there. Check out our website. Encourage you to do that. We are talking about real practical things that people need to know about and it's helpful to them as a person. So I encourage you to subscribe to that stuff. And until next time, go visit divacup.com and get educated on it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Sophie. It was great to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sophie.
Wonderful.